I found this. Can you analyze it, little guy?
Huh. A delivery receipt? Don't tell me.
It's very likely. It hadn't even crossed my mind until now.
Right. I'll send it to the lab, so it'll take a while.
Hey, little guy. I need this footprint analyzed.
All right. Hang on a moment, please. I see.
Did you discover anything?
Yes, the footprint is 27 centimeters in length, so we should expect this person to be between 170 to 180 centimeters tall.
The woman who delivered the bomb to me was about that tall.
I see. Oh, I've also compared the pattern on the print to the FBI's shoe print database.
Great. Can you narrow it down to a specific store?
Well, there aren't that many stores that carry this brand, but it's still over 100. I can narrow it down, but it's going to take some time and a lot of effort.
Well, do the best you can. I'm going to keep investigating.
Understood. I'll contact you once I found anything out.
Can you tell me anything about this hair, little guy?
Sure, give me a moment.
What's the matter?
Well, this hair is dyed black, but it's actually a red hair.
Red hair. Can you tell if it belonged to the bomber?
No, I'd need some DNA from the bomber to compare it to.
Of course. But there's a good chance that this hair does belong to the bomber.
Huh? Why is that?
This is hardly conclusive evidence, but here's something you may not know, little guy. Only 2 to 3% of people in this country are true redheads. It isn't a common color at all.
So, how is this related to this case?
Think about it. That hair's been dyed, hasn't it?
Right, but...
If that hair is the bomber's, as I suggest, what reason would she have to dye it?
It would be...
That's right. Having red hair is an obvious identifying feature. If there happened to be any witnesses, her identity would be easy to discover. Isn't it plausible to think that this might be why the bomber would dye her hair black?
I see. That hypothesis does make sense. The dye used seems to be a temporary coloring agent as well.
So the dye is meant to be washed out. If that's the case, she could change her hair color with every delivery to create conflicting witness accounts. That would make her hair part of her costume as well.
Yes, but until we can prove that hair belongs to her, this is all just speculation.
I know. We need something to match her DNA with in order to do that. It's a decent theory, anyway. Let's keep gathering what information we can.
Got it. I'll let you know immediately if anything else comes up. Dr. Kimishima, the results of the analysis on the delivery form have come in.
Did they find anything?
Sure did. There were 2 sets of fingerprints on the paper. One of them is Stephen Eldred, the revolutionary. He'd be the recipient. The other set belongs to somebody else. Well, common sense dictates that they'd have to belong to.
Let's not start jumping to any conclusions. We need to find out who left those fingerprints. Yes, those 2 can be placed together. Little guy, could I bother you for a moment?
Yes, of course. What is it?
I want you to look at the fingerprints on the delivery form Stephen and I were presented with. Compare any prints you find that don't belong to either Stephen Eldred or myself.
No problem. I'll just be a moment.
What did you find? Are there any matches?
A complete match. There's no mistake. These are from the same person.
Good. This is proof of another important fact. Both forms have 2 sets of prints. One from the recipient, and another from... That's right. The other set of prints is from the person who delivered the package. If the fingerprints match on both forms, then the person who delivered the bomb to the revolutionary was...
Dr. Kimishima, it turns out that this woman...
Let me guess. She doesn't exist, right?
Right. We've contacted all the delivery companies that work in this area. None of them can confirm having an employee that fits our description. And of course, none of them have any records of a package being sent to you that day either. Do you think the woman making the deliveries is the raging bomber?
I can't be sure yet. She might be another person being used like the revolutionary was. We'll figure that out as we continue with the investigation.
Right. In any case, we'll need to keep that woman in mind.
How about the fingerprints? Did you compare them to anything in the FBI's criminal database?
Of course I ran them through the system. No matches, though. If that woman is the raging bomber, and she's a complete newbie...
That's an awful thought. Someone with no criminal record at all, and she's already killed 4 people with these bombs.
That seems to be the case. This might turn out to be one tough murder spree to end. As long as she doesn't blow you up, it'll be okay.
You might want to avoid saying things like that in the future.
Sorry. Anyway, we've figured out how she was delivering the bombs.
Yes, let's try summarizing what we know of the events in this case. First, the bomber prepared a bluff to hide behind while she committed the crimes. That bluff was... Yes, the revolutionary, Stephen Eldred. The bomber had Eldred make the bomb threats over the phone. She had him use his own voice with absolutely no processing to attempt to conceal it. Because of this, the bomber misled us into believing that the killer was male.
On the other hand, the bomber used the names of people close to the targets to send the packages. She did that to make her targets feel less suspicious about the deliveries, right?
Yes. All the bombs were set to explode in close proximity to the target. It's likely that what triggered the explosion would have been... Indeed, if the bomb was set to go off when the package was opened, it would explain the wound patterns. Still, that's not what she did in my case. She used a time bomb for me.
That does seem odd now that you bring it up. Why would she do that?
It makes a lot of sense if you think about it.
What's that supposed to mean?
Don't you get it? It's because...
You think she was thinking that far ahead?
Let me ask you, investigator, if someone assisting the FBI appears in a tabloid, what's your by-the-book response?
We'd increase security around you to prevent the killer from striking at you.
Exactly. In fact, the security at CIFM was heavier than usual. The bomber had to be sure that I would be killed by the blast. If there had been a baggage screening at the entrance and the lid was opened there, she predicted that her present would never reach me.
I see. So that's why the package didn't go off the moment it was opened.
Yes. And she even put a note inside the package. She wanted to ensure that I would be near the bomb when it went off. If it wasn't for Alyssa, I would have been.
She's a tough one.
This is the kind of mind we're dealing with. The question remains, was the woman who delivered the package the bomber or not?
From the evidence we have, she's definitely the most suspicious character at this point. Still, this whole thing about taking such a risk to deliver the bombs herself. And if she was the bomber, wouldn't the revolutionary have noticed before he was killed?
That's possible. However, that would only happen if the revolutionary knew her face.
Huh?
Think about what happened in Eldred's room. The bomber sent her messages via the computer. Perhaps the revolutionary only knew the bomber from the internet.
Still, would somebody really deal with someone they've never even seen?
Our technology gets better and better, but people can remain as naive as the day they were born. But why did the bomber kill the revolutionary in the first place?
Oh, I had something to report. I almost forgot.
Can you not suddenly yell like that?
Yeah, sorry. It's about the revolutionary. We looked into his financial records. It seems there were periodic deposits into his accounts. These deposits perfectly coincide with another series of events.
Really? Let me guess, it was...
Absolutely correct, Dr. Kimishima.
Of course I am. Continue.
Oh, yes. There were a total of 4 deposits. All of them were made around the same dates as the bomb threats. $5,000 for the first 3 times, and $10,000 for the 4th time.
The last one was double the others?
Oh, yes, there's no doubt about it.
After that deposit was made, the bomber targeted the one who made the threats for her. Could the change in the amount of money be related to the revolutionary's killing?